Dorothy, are you there, Dorothy? Dorothy Lewis. I thought you loved me, Dorothy. You got the ID. You got the ID. You got the ID. You all have the ID. Log into here. Okay. Yes, you get the diagnosis. Yes, you get the diagnosis. Yes, you too. Good morning, man. How you guys doing? Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're doing great. Another morning, another day, another trial. And so Dorothy's supposed to take the stand today. First, they're gonna have that Dr. Niederhauser. Dr. Niederhauser. Rhonda something. I don't know, whatever her name is. And she's gonna be there for like I think like 40 minutes or something like that. Good morning. Rise and shine. Yeah, I did, Tammy. I got a little haircut. Thanks. I got a little haircut. So I'm trying to get this to grow back because the other places they've cut this too short, like this thing here and this thing here. So I want this to grow back so it's a little uneven. But yeah, I went this morning. Oh, by the way, I got packages. I think most of this stuff is from myself. Merch stuff. Be careful how I open this shit because I don't want no problems. Damn. I can't open this shit. I don't want to rip this because it's like a styrofoam package. Good morning. As I rip it. I don't want to rip this. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. All right, we got the first mug. Oh, shit. The Murdoch stuff. Icky and Mel Murdoch trial. Got the judge. Got Judge Mel. We need a Dick Mel. Mel Dick. We got the lady here too. Okay. Oh shit. All right. My nails are peeling. Okay. Gangsta. It's a nice smooth looking cup. I like it. Oh, let me open up this thing too real quick. So I got make sure we don't miss anything. WebEx. They don't even say hire anything. Just like bring the witness, or evidence, whatever, exhibit, whatever. What's up, Sled? Oh, I think the Sled's here. Actually, let's do that next. Oh wait, this is from somebody. This is from Tony. Okay, Tony. I'm glad I looked first so I don't show the address. All right. Oh, what's that? Oh, okay. I see you. Hold on. Oh, I love it. Perfect. And I'm glad you got the extra large because I'll probably shrink this the way I wash clothes. So it'll fit perfect. I don't know if Tony, you're in the chat. Thank you so much. Yada, yada, yada. That's distasteful, Icky Mel. It's insensitive. You have disgusting fans. What's so funny about that? Then there's this other thing. Hold on a second. Somebody sent me something for a toilet. No, I think it's for the seat. I'll use it. I'll try it out. Comfy life, pain and sciatica relief. Okay. I'll try it out. Oh, it does feel nice. Who sent this though? Wait. Shirt's all coming off and stuff. I don't know who this is from. Who sent you? tag doesn't even say. It's a gift receipt. Maybe I have to go online and see. Oh. Well, this is nice. Thank you. I have to find out who this is from. Your secret admirer. They'll never know. There's another box too. Let's see. All aboard. Well, today should be interesting, man. I can't wait to see. Well, hopefully Dorothy's not. Oh! I ordered this off the merch site, and I'm supposed to have a mason jar coming too. I don't know where that's at. Ooh. So this thing don't come with a straw? Okay. Johnny Depp merch. Were you there? Wine tumbler. Ooh. I like it. And Diggs designed this. All right, turn this way. Jar. Oh, a jar of deodorant. Were you there? I like it. It's nice and smooth, you know what I'm saying? If I want to sip one day, pretend I'm, I don't know, drinking juice or something. Yeah. Good material. Okay. I like it. Now I got all this trash. These boxes. I love this shirt, Tony. I don't know if you're in the chat, Tony. Next time, I guess when I see you in the chat, I'll have to send you a clip so you can see my initial reaction. Now I got all this trash. I'm going to recycle it. So, good morning, man. Sniff. I hope you guys are doing good. Oh, here we go. All
right, court will call 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch.
Wait.
Record should reflect the jury's not present in the courtroom. Yesterday, when we took our break, Ms. Gratiano had gone through all of the exhibits. There were 5 that there were questions about. It was 204, 221, 293, 339, and 713. My understanding is that's been cleared up. I've also spoken with my court reporter. All of those exhibits have been admitted. Is that right, Kathy? Okay. So do you disagree, defense?
I do not.
Okay. So that means that all of the exhibits that I have as admitted, let me double check these here.
It has a heating thing too. Diggs, thank you for the super chat. That's amazing. Looks so good. Thank you, Laura, for the super chat. So nice. Hello, Mel. Thanks for all you do. I love your channel. I love your attitude and who you are. Thank you. I don't know that I can truly handle today because Letecia is evil. Laura, you got to write it out with us, man. This is the day. Thank you, Cam. Appreciate that in the chat. Thank you so much. They changed the camera angle so it looks a little different. I guess to protect the jurors, I guess. So we'll just adjust as we go. It looks, I think, even different today. Let me switch the camera. Yeah, shit, what the hell? What the hell? Every day I come now, it's different. All right, we'll figure it out as we go. If you guys can hit like, I appreciate that, man. Thank you guys for joining me. Yada, yada. We got to make yada, yada merch.
All right, prosecution, what's your plan today?
Well, first of all, thank you for letting us do that exhibit audit to make sure that we had admitted everything. Our plan is, as soon as we bring the jury in, based on having that conformity between what we believe we had admitted and now what the court understands that we've also admitted with no objection from defense, we'll plan to rest as soon as the jury comes in.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. And I want to do a poll. I want to ask you guys.
Who are you calling first?
Does prosecution do good?
Oh, sure. Hold on just a second.
Don't be scared now. It's showtime, baby. Showtime. Try to fix this camera angle, the new camera angle they got. Okay. Something like that. I'll make sure you guys can see everything. I can put us on top. Okay. Good morning, man. I slept pretty decent. I'm working on getting better sleep, but I slept decent. I'm trying to get back to my good sleeping habit so I can be fresh when I come see you guys in the morning. Deb, thank you for the super chat. Says we love you, Mel. Handsome Mel. You're the best. Thank you, Deb. Appreciate that. Thank you. Nah, Kylie, it's not the last day. This is the beginning of the defense. The prosecution's resting their case today, but they're pretty much done. Now the defense is going to make their case. And the defense I counted has like 12 witnesses. I don't know if they're going to pick witnesses from the prosecution list as well, but I don't think it's definitely not going to be as long as the prosecution. So I think it's probably going to get interesting. I'm hoping. And the poll that I wanted to ask you guys too, I forgot to hit start on Facebook. I got to hit start over there. I'm going to ask you a poll here in a second. Do you think the prosecution did well? Give me 1 second. Let me just hit go live. I see them smiling too. You see that shit? Take my pills.
Okay. Let's go ahead and bring the jury in then.
All right. Let's see what's going on today. I should try to set up the other screen in the meantime. Just wanted to start out.
I should have asked. We do have everybody, right? Okay.
Oh, there's audio. I can see the levels. You might have to back out if you don't have audio for some reason. But they were actually they were talking to the judge with the mics off though. That's why you didn't hear audio. Macabre Mamad, thank you for the super chat. Says Dr. Evil has made an appearance in court. Lisa Lulu, thank you for the super chat. Says, what is Maddie's 2 favorite colors? I crochet lace blankets. Definitely pink. Secondary.
You guys do return time at 1 o'clock?
I'm not sure.
All rise for the jury, please.
Maybe purple. Maybe
1 o'clock. Will that work?
Wait, what they say? Return 1 o'clock? Okay. Hey, Das, thank you for the membership. Says Mel, you're amazing. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you for being a member. Dr. Edward Moskowitz, thank you for the 3-month membership. Amazing. Thank you for renewing. And we got to talk. There's a question I wanted to ask you about the stuff we talked about. And there's something
Thank you.
else.
May all be seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch. Record should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little better here today. Working on splitting that difference thing seems to be helping out a little bit. Let's hope it stays that way. Again, has anything occurred since we were last together that causes any of you to believe you could not continue to serve as a fair and impartial juror in this case? If so, please raise your hand. No response. All right. With that, when we took our break yesterday, we were still in the midst of the prosecution's case in chief. Mr. Allen, call your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. With Kevin Clark's testimony yesterday, that concludes the state's evidence, and so we would rest our case at this time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what that means is the prosecution has presented all of the evidence which it has decided to present in this case to prove all of the charges against the defendant beyond a reasonable doubt. At this point in time, the defense has the opportunity, but not an obligation, to call witnesses. I want to remind you that the defense does not have to present any evidence or call any witnesses. With that, does the defense have any witnesses it intends to call?
We do, Your Honor.
All right. Do we know who?
Your Honor, we'd like to call Dr. Rhonda Niederhauser.
All right.
Niederhauser. Okay. Niederhauser. Dookie Hauser. There she is. Niederhauser.
Dr. Niederhauser, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, ma'am. Come a little closer.
Oh, you just go right there and face it.
Sure.
It's okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please state your full name and spell your last name for
Sure.
the court reporter who's seated right in front of you?
It's Rhonda, Ronda. And you need my middle name too?
Gotta fix this.
Last name's fine.
Okay. Niederhauser, Niederhauser.
How are you employed?
So I work at Fort Carson. I work at Evans Army Medical Hospital, and I work in Ivy Medical Clinic. It's a primary care clinic office.
Okay.
And I'm a clinical psychologist.
Okay. And what is your education?
I have a doctorate degree, PhD in clinical psychology, and then I have a postdoctoral master's in clinical psychopharmacology.
Okay. And is this your full-time job at Evans Hospital on Fort Carson?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And you work at a primary care clinic?
I do, yes.
Okay. Do you exclusively or primarily treat people that have had mental health or
I see
mental
all
condition?
kinds of different things. I would say the primary is people with depression, anxiety, adjustment disorder. I work mostly with the dependents of military spouse or military service people. And then I work with veterans and their family members as well.
Do you do active duty soldiers as well?
Occasionally, our clinic is primarily for the dependents, veterans
Okay.
and their dependents. Yeah.
All right.
Occasionally, there'll be a mom that brings her kid in and has some postpartum depression or anxiety, and I'll see them. But we have other clinics that will take care of the active duty service members.
How long have you been at Evans Hospital?
10 years.
10 years. And how long have you been a practicing clinical psychologist?
Since 2000,
2000.
23 years.
All right. So in December of 2019, did you meet with Letecia Stauch?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And is this Ms. Stauch seated at the table, as you recall?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And what day did you meet with her?
I don't have that.
Okay.
But from memory, based on the records I reviewed, I think it's December 5th and also December 13th.
Okay. All right. And what did you meet with her about?
So she came in to see her primary care doc first, and that's kind of what I do. I'm a clinical psychologist, but I work as a behavioral health consultant. So my job is to work with the primary care docs to see what care somebody may need. So do they just need brief intervention? Do they need ongoing counseling? Do they just need medications? Kind of get them to the right place. So she originally came in to see her primary care doc. She was having some constipation, and the doc also did a depression and anxiety screener on her. And based on her anxiety symptoms and what she was going through with stress, her doctor walked her into me. And I have 30-minute appointments. I don't do the typical psychologist type of job because I work in a primary care clinic office and I get people walked in all the time. So she was walked in for me for stressors with her work, and she was having some anxiety symptoms.
Okay. So she went to see her primary care doctor back in December 2019.
Correct.
And your understanding is the primary care doctor thought that it would benefit her to come and meet with you, a clinical psychologist.
That's correct.
Okay. And how long did you talk to Ms. Stauch? Was it the full 30 minutes? Or
I documented it was 30 minutes. I didn't have a timer on it, and I can't tell from 4 years ago. So I'm sorry.
okay. And what was your diagnosis, or did you make a diagnosis?
It was anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder.
Okay. Did you prescribe any medication or treatment or therapy for her?
So I don't prescribe, so I make recommendations to the primary care docs. And then I recommended that she see a therapist.
Okay. What was your recommendation for medication?
Hydroxyzine.
Hydroxyzine?
She had said that she had tried other medications in the past, and she wasn't having depressive symptoms. It was more anxiety, and she was having trouble sleeping. And hydroxyzine is an antihistamine. It's like Benadryl. It's what you can get over the counter, which is in Tylenol PM, that can make people sleepy. But Benadryl's never been a medication that helps people with anxiety. Hydroxyzine, we found, can help with anxiety and can help with sleep.
Okay.
And that's what I had recommended.
Was she ever prescribed lorazepam by you or anybody else that you're aware of?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you discuss stress and anxiety that she was having from her work as a teacher?
Yes. So she had told me that somebody at her work was being harassed and that she stood up for that person. I don't know what kind of witness she was to them, but because she was a witness, she felt like she was being harassed.
Okay. And at some point, you provided a letter dated December 5th, 2019. There's also a letter dated December 15th, 2019 that has your name and everything, but there's not actually a signature. Do you recall that letter?
I do. Do you want me to speak to both letters?
No, just the latter one.
Yeah. The second letter, so I saw Ms. Stauch on the 13th of December. And at that time, she was doing better. She had decided that she was going to quit that job and she was going to go in another school district. She was going to look for a teaching job in another school district. And because she had made that decision, I think some of her anxiety was relieved. In fact, when I did it's called a behavioral health measure 20. So it measures all kinds of different things, including anxiety. Her symptoms had gone down. And I think that was mainly because of making that decision to leave that job. So she left, and then I got an email from her that she apparently had talked to her work, her boss, whatever the case may be, and they told her that they wouldn't allow her to quit because she was on a contract, and if she wanted to resign, she'd have to have a letter from her doctor indicating that it was recommended. And so that was the letter that I had written, was that I recommended that she be able to resign from her position based on her anxiety symptoms.
Okay.
And then I sent the letter. I'll finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. And you had
Wait. Let's stop both of them. I know it's hard for you because everybody comes in, number one, they're nervous.
Sure.
And they may not have done this before, but the court reporter is taking down everything we say as we say it.
Sure.
That's important for one thing. It's easier for her to take things down if only one of you is talking at a time. It's also easier if you speak slower.
Okay.
She'll appreciate that.
Okay.
So let's try again.
And you provided Ms. Stauch a copy of the letter where you recommended that she step down from her current teaching position.
Correct.
Okay. Did you provide that a written copy to her? Or did you send it via text, electronic, email?
I sent it by email. I sent her a draft of the letter,
Okay.
which means basically I didn't sign it. I sent her the draft so she would be able to read it and see if she felt like it was sufficient, if I was not putting in too much information or if I was putting in not enough information. So I sent that letter, the draft of the letter to her.
The therapy that you recommended that she start, what type of therapy are we talking about?
This would have been individual
Talk therapy
Yes.
with a psychologist or psychiatrist?
therapist, yes.
Okay. After December 2019, did you have any more contact with Ms. Stauch?
No, I did not.
Okay.
That's it.
Can I have just a second, Your Honor?
You may.
That's all I had. Thank
That's
you,
it?
doctor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I apologize, everybody. I'm nervous.
Did you see her one time in
I'm surprised you're
1986?
not the first person that's been nervous on the witness stand.
I was hoping I wasn't the only one.
Everybody feels it. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
So, Dr. Niederhauser, I think you said you've been a clinical psychologist since 2000. Is that right?
That's correct.
When you see a patient like you did with this particular defendant, what kind of things do you have access to?
Their report, of course, we do scales. We do a depression scale, which is called the Patient Health Questionnaire 9, and it gets the main symptoms of depression. We also do what's called a generalized anxiety disorder questionnaire. It's called a GAD-7, and so we have access to that to give that to people. The second appointment, we do a behavioral health measure 20. The only reason that they did that one is the first one was with her PCM, and the primary care docs provide those questionnaires. I'll also provide it if the docs have not provided it, if they walk in to see me. But the behavioral health measure, when somebody has official appointment with me, they're filling that out in the waiting room, and then they bring it to me. That's what the government wants me, the military wants me to have people fill out. I
Government
like
and
the other two forms better, but that's what they have us fill out.
government and the regulations, right?
Yes, yes, military, yes.
Do you get a description of symptoms from the patient?
I do.
You agree that this particular patient, the defendant, endorsed that she had sleeping problems,
I do.
that she was feeling tired,
Yes.
that she was having trouble concentrating,
Yes, I believe so.
and that she had moderate level of anxiety.
That's correct.
And then that she also, though, denied any suicidal ideation.
That's correct.
What does suicidal ideation mean?
Where she wants to kill herself.
She also denied any homicidal ideation.
That's correct.
She denied any intent or plan to commit either suicide or homicide as well.
That's correct.
And that was on December 5th, correct?
Correct.
Did that hold true on the second date, on December 13th?
It did.
It's not the prosecution helping the defense here.
She cited as the factors of her psychological issues as the stress at work, correct?
That's correct.
And that she was trying to quit that job,
That's correct.
and that she wanted a letter from you to be able to quit that job.
That's correct.
Did you consider the option that she might be manipulating her visit with you to get a letter to present to work?
I did not. That's not typically how we
Okay.
operate. We trust the people that come in to see us.
You do?
I would not be a good psychologist if I
Oh, well.
cross-examined every person that came in
Sure.
and said, I don't believe you. So that's how a therapeutic relationship works, is you have to trust the person that's coming in to talk to you.
Did you note in your notes on this from December 5th that there was no disorientation observed?
That's correct. She knew where she was, who she was,
Why is that important?
situation. It's important because you have to know who you are, where you're at, what's going on.
And she had no problems there.
No, not at all.
She also was not exhibiting any hallucinations, correct?
That's correct.
Her memory was not impaired.
That's correct.
Even remote memory was not impaired.
Correct.
And more significantly, recent memory was not impaired.
That's correct.
Judgment was also not impaired.
That's correct.
Speech was normal.
Correct.
Rate of speech was normal.
Correct.
Didn't seem to be pressured in her speech.
Correct.
Tone was not abnormal. It was not monotone or any other abnormality.
Correct.
And volume was normal.
Yes.
And in fact, you noted no language abnormalities were demonstrated at all.
That's correct.
You also went through her thought processes, correct?
Correct.
They were not impaired.
Correct.
In fact, you noted that they were linear, logical, and goal-directed, correct?
Correct.
Oh, Lord.
You also evaluated her for connectedness, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Connectedness. Do you remember that?
I don't know what.
Okay, there's a note in your report that said evaluation of connectedness showed no deficiency.
Correct.
What does that mean?
I don't
So
know.
I think what you're referring to, and this has been like an old note, so I don't have access to it. But I think that
Some liberal shit.
it refers to how you connect to other people. And I didn't see any problems with her connecting to me. And she had connections to other people, her family.
Okay. And just so you're aware, I know that you're nervous. It's okay to be nervous, like I was talking about at the beginning. If you can't remember, and it would be helpful for you to review your report. If you tell me that you can't remember and it would be helpful, I can show you your report and then you can review it, okay?
Okay.
That's a standard thing that we do with lots of witnesses.
Sure.
You noted that her insight was intact.
Right.
What does that mean, insight being intact?
She recognizes what's going on with her. She has insight that she has anxiety, that kind of thing.
And you also noted that she was not having any delusions.
Correct.
Damn. Prosecution is going
If,
thorough.
if you're noting all of those things, are those signs that somebody is not suffering from a severe mental health disorder?
Your Honor, we approach.
You know they
Yeah,
bad.
objection stated.
Ooh. Well.
Honor, I don't believe this witness is allowed to.
He muted his mic? I think he muted his mic.
Then she can,
Hospital.
then she can tell me if that's the case.
Ooh, sit down. Oh.
And what I'm asking Dr. Niederhauser is, based on your years of experience as a clinical psychologist since 2000, and then working as a clinical psychologist for Evans Army Hospital and at Fort Carson's, are those types of things that somebody would suffer if they are suffering from a severe mental health disorder?
Can I answer that or no?
I'm not the one giving direction here.
Okay. So what I basically would say is if I had any concerns that she was a danger to herself, a danger to someone else, or she was gravely disabled, which means she was psychotic or so severely depressed that she wasn't functioning, then I would have placed her on a 72-hour hold and sent her to a psych hospital. So she had some anxiety, she was having some stress, but she was not suffering from severe mental health disorder to the point where I felt she was a danger to herself or others or couldn't function
Okay.
or was psychotic.
Okay. And that's exactly what I was asking. This particular patient was not suffering at the time that you saw her in December on the 5th or the 13th of any severe mental health disorders, correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you noted that she was only suffering from generalized anxiety disorder.
Correct.
What is generalized anxiety disorder?
So that's where you have anxiety. And for people that aren't familiar with anxiety, it's just worry, nervousness, like
Life.
I am right now.
Shit.
And so you worry about everything. So you don't just worry about certain things. You worry about a lot of things.
Okay.
Tisha. Will's pressed. You can tell. Look at his face. His face like sinks in and shit. He's rocky. He does the rocking thing too a lot. Will.
On December 13th, you went through the same sort of neurological assessment of the defendant, correct?
Correct.
You noted that there was no disorientation observed,
Correct.
that she was oriented to place, person, time, and situation,
Correct.
that she was not suffering from any hallucinations,
That's correct.
that her memory was unimpaired,
That's correct.
and that remote memory was not impaired.
Correct.
Recent memory also not impaired.
Correct.
Judgment was not impaired.
Correct.
Why is it important to note that her judgment was not impaired?
Because if somebody has poor judgment, then they're going to make bad decisions.
And her judgment was normal.
Correct.
Her speech was normal.
Correct.
Tone again was appropriate. No volume issues or monotone issues or anything like that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, the prosecution did way more questioning than the defense.
And then you noted on that same day, December 15th, that last time that you had evaluation with this defendant, that she was still only suffering from generalized anxiety disorder.
Correct.
You mentioned the M1 hold, that 72-hour hold. Tell the jury what that is.
So it's a hold that I can place on somebody and send them to a psych hospital. It's up to 72 hours. Generally, when you send them to the psych hospital, the psychiatrist or whoever's in charge at the hospital will continue to keep them on that hold. The reason we place somebody on a 72-hour hold is because they're a danger to themselves, they're a danger to someone else, or they're gravely disabled, like I was saying before. So they're so psychotic that they don't know who they are, what they're doing, or some people are so severely depressed that they're not eating, they're not taking care of themselves, they're not functioning. So that's where we can place somebody on it's called an M1 hold in the state of Colorado.
And during your career as a clinical psychologist, have you ever dealt with somebody that you had to put on an M1 hold?
So since I've been at Fort Carson working in a primary care clinic office, I don't see it as often, but I would say probably in the 10 years I've been doing this, it's probably been once or twice a year. So it's not frequent, but it happens. Prior to this, my job was as a mental health evaluator at Memorial Hospital for 5 years, and that's exactly what I did. People would be brought into the emergency room to make a determination if they were a danger to themselves or others or gravely disabled. And so I put people on M1 holds or emergency commitments. Emergency commitment is same thing, except you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And the emergency commitment, you would send them to detox, and that's a 5-day hold. And so I had a lot of experience of working in emergency situations and placing people on M1 holds or emergency commitments prior to working at Evans for 10 years.
As a professional and as an expert in clinical psychology, do you feel comfortable doing that if you're seeing the signs that would be appropriate for a placement on an M1 hold?
Yes.
Did you see anything about this defendant on either December dates of 2019 that caused you to have any concern that she was a danger to herself or to anyone else?
No, I did not.
Okay. May I have just 1 minute?
You may.
Yo, I'm shocked, bro, because I thought, and thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already.
What was the source of information as it relates to your interactions with this defendant?
Just the clinical interview with her and the scales that we utilized.
So basically everything coming directly from her.
Correct.
The
only time we get collateral information is if we do have concerns about somebody being a danger to themselves or others, or they're psychotic, or people are worried about them because they're not functioning. That's when I would get collateral information from other people.
And that didn't occur here?
No, it did not.
Okay. Did she have any history whatsoever of psychological treatment in the past?
She had told me that she'd been diagnosed with anxiety in the past. In her medical records, she does have a diagnosis of panic attacks and anxiety. And then she had told me that she had tried different medications, but I don't think she'd ever seen a therapist before.
Was there ever any history that you knew of that she'd been in an inpatient treatment?
She had not.
Had not?
Had not. That's at least what she told me.
She told you that?
Yes.
Okay. Did she mention any, as it relates to the stress or the anxiety, did she mention anything to you about stress related to her stepfather from 20 years ago?
She did not.
Did she mention any stress related to sexual abuse at the hands of stepfather from 20 years ago?
She did not.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Oh,
Redirect.
I don't have any questions. Thank you. Thank you.
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Dr. Niederhauser? Looks like we have one. Counsel would retrieve that and counsel approach, please.
yo, prosecution did a really good job with this witness. I'm surprised why even call this person just for her to say, yeah, I think I prescribed her Xanax at one point in her life. I don't even remember. And yeah, I excused her from work and like something about, did you sign the paper for? No, I didn't sign the paper. What? We got way more information. Well, I guess the information that we got from the prosecution hurts Teacher's case, but wow, that shit did not help them at all. armpit method, strategy. Which I don't even want to get into that, but and thank you guys so much for the super chats. Good morning. This is not Dorothy. Dorothy's coming next.
All right.
Dorothy's going to take
Dr.
the entire day.
Niederhauser, did you or the defendant set the second appointment on December 13th?
I did.
All right.
Well, I asked her to get an appointment and somebody scheduled it.
Okay. I will allow reasonable follow-up as to that question only. Mr. Cook? Mr. Allen?
So how was it that you had contact with her to set that second appointment?
So usually what I do is I walk them out. There's a back desk, they check out, and then they actually make an appointment. So I think that's how it happened.
Okay. So it's basically at the end of the first appointment, you walk out to the lobby and then you say, set another appointment in a couple of weeks, essentially.
That's correct.
And why did you have to do that for this particular person?
I typically do that as just a normal routine because I want to make sure that I don't do the ongoing therapy, but I want to make sure that I'm following up with patients and making sure that they're getting the help that they need. And so that's why I set it up. And then she did get prescribed that hydroxyzine. And so I wanted to follow up with her and make sure that how she was doing on that medication.
So this was only in response to just you wanting to make sure that what you were recommending was working and to follow up, not because you had some concerns about severe mental health
That's
disorder.
correct.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Damn,
All right.
still
Thank you,
killing
Dr. Niederhauser. You may step down.
So do they have Dr. Dorothy Lewis right now?
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, that's
before
later.
you came in this morning, the attorneys and I were talking about some logistical things. And I know you might not be surprised. You might be, but you might not be surprised to find that in a case with this number of witnesses, this number of exhibits, sometimes scheduling issues
everybody else.
occur. And so we don't have any other witnesses
1 p.m.
until 1:30. I'm
1:30.
sorry, until 1 o'clock. We're having there's a scheduling issue with respect to the next witness.
There's 3.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to send you out until 1 o'clock. If I can have you back in the jury room at 1 o'clock. Again, don't discuss the case with anyone else. Don't discuss the case among yourselves. Don't do your own independent research about any aspect of this case. And the attorneys and I will be dealing with other issues. We're going to talk some probably about some jury instructions, some logistical
then we can
things,
listen to
and things like that.
I guess.
So while we're not able to use your time efficiently this morning, I still hope to do that here. And we are still ahead of where we thought we would be at this point in time. So I know it looks like there's some downtime, but we're still going to use it efficiently from our end. And we are still ahead of where we thought we would be. So enjoy the morning, I guess. And we will see you at 1 o'clock. All rise for the jury, please.
So we might be able to be privy to these conversations, I think, or the jury instruction stuff. We'll see what's going to happen, but they are going to come back later. Look, later today, this defense, they better pull some shit out of there, unless they really just don't give a fuck, because that's the impression they've given me this entire time. This Dorothy Lewis person, I guess they have all their eggs in one basket. This is it. This is the end of the line for them. I thought at least with Niederhauser, they were going to bring something of like, besides, oh yeah, she took a Xanax one time and whatever, she got excused from work. Come on, man. The
Thank
fuck,
you. May all be
that's it?
seated. Record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom.
And then they smile and cocky like they got something. You don't got shit. What are they
All right,
smiling
Ms.
about?
Stauch, I'm going to go back through some of the questions that I talked to you about last week. I just want to confirm, prosecution, there are no prior felony convictions. Is that accurate?
Correct, Judge. There were some prior felony arrests, but they were not convictions.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Stauch, how old are you? And we've
Speak up.
talked a little bit about your education. You have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate degree. Do I have that right?
Allegedly.
And how's your health today? And are you now or have you been under the influence of any alcohol or drugs in the past 24 hours? Do you understand that you have a right not to testify? Can you hear her okay, Kathy? Okay. And if you choose not to testify, then the jury can be instructed about that right and be told that they cannot infer your guilt from the fact that you remain silent, and that it would still be the prosecution's burden to prove the elements of the case to the jury beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that? Do you understand, however, that you have a right to testify? And do you understand that if you want to testify, no one can prevent you from doing so? Do you understand that if you choose to testify, you may be cross-examined by the prosecution concerning any matters which are relevant and material to this case? Do you further understand that juror questions may be submitted, but that the same rules of law, evidence, and procedure that apply to lawyer questions will apply to juror questions, and that improper juror questions will not be permitted? However, legally proper juror questions may be asked of you if you decide to testify. Do you also understand that the decision to testify or not to testify is yours personally, and only you can make that decision? Do you further understand that even though your attorneys may disagree with your decision, that the decision is entirely yours and yours alone? Do you fully understand this advisement? Is there anything further you wish for me to explain to you concerning your right to testify or not testify? What is your decision? Do you wish to testify or not testify?
I'd like to wait till after. What is it?
All right. We'll wait until Dr. Lewis has concluded her testimony, and we will see where we are then.
It's so interesting that they didn't flat out say no.
We'll go from there.
They didn't flat out say no. So there's some sort of possibility, I guess. Maybe they want to see how it's going to go with the... That's interesting that it wasn't a flat no. They're considering it.
Let's use a little bit of the time for...
It's in the realm of possibility, I guess.
Jury instructions. Just preliminarily.
I feel it could be like a desperate Hail
I'm
Mary.
going to take out the instruction regarding discrediting by conviction of a felony. We've not had anybody. The instruction regarding expert, I think, is missing some language. I have to look at it. It looks like it's missing some language, so I just need to look at it. And then, Mr. Tellini, do you have a theory of defense? Yeah. Are you intending to submit one? Okay, so, all right. And do you have any objections to the instructions that have been tendered by the prosecution?
The only one I have, they all appear directly with Bulgy, except it's the one about lay witnesses.
Right.
On sanity. The objection to that one, I understand it comes from the statute, but I think it unnecessarily highlights that testimony. I mean, clearly witnesses can do that. The court, has literally allowed them to do it. So I think it's implied that it's acceptable for them to do that instead of the research.
Mr. Allen? Mr. Young?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Not prepared to give you case law on this particular issue this time, so I'd like to reserve argument until I find the case that addresses this issue.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a statute right on point that allows that to happen, which is 16-8-109. The jury has heard that type of testimony. Defense has objected in front of the jury to that type of testimony. Therefore, the people feel it's necessary to give them an instruction as law with regards to layperson testimony. The wording of that instruction is, I believe I used that particular instruction in another homicide case where insanity was an issue. I just can't recall what case I got that from. And so I'll be able to get that to the court this afternoon.
Okay.
Of course, the defense has an alternative instruction that they'd like to provide. We're more than welcome to look at it.
Well, I'm looking at 16-8-109. This issue came up earlier, I think, in response to Mr. Grusing's testimony.
Stop so that you can share some of the rest. All the waiver presence for the jury.
Okay. All right. All right. And Ms. Stauch, as I understand it, you're willing to waive your presence for the jury instruction conference? Okay.
Well, so she don't want to be there. She's like, sure, whatever. Like she either like bored with it, she don't care, she don't want to be there, whatever. So they're gonna take her out, remove her. Yeah, she putting on gloves too. I don't want to touch this heifer. I mean, maybe I'm sure that's probably normal, but she did something to her hair today too. Brushed it, put some cream in there. Why are they covering it? That's on purpose, I guess. So I don't know. Lucia thinks that maybe the prosecution's playing a game, that they're not even thinking about it. But I don't know. Maybe they will allow Tisha.
Covered it.
Yeah, he covered it on purpose. I'm not sure why. Why can't we see them taking her ass away? I want to see. I want to see them take her in cuffs. Haul her ass away.
All right. I'm looking at 16.8.109, and as I was about to say, I think that the instruction as submitted, I'm not sure I'm going to give it in the form that it's in light of, get the citation for you here. I know the case is People versus Dunlap, but I can't remember the citation offhand.
Oh, okay. Being prejudicial to see the defendant in handcuffs or jail clothes. Right, for happy birthday to your mama. Happy birthday, mama. Rocky Search 47, thank you for the super chat. Says her testimony needs to come fully equipped with an exorcism.
Got 173 P. Does it sound right? Dunlap?
Nope, I'm thinking it's 36 P3rd 778. And the case that I'm thinking about now, granted, there are a number of different iterations of Dunlap because it's a death penalty case, so it went up and back a number of times. But I think the case that I'm looking at is 36 Pacific 3rd 778. I can tell you for sure the principle of law is that it was reversed because the language in the instruction that was given by the court did not specifically track the language in the death penalty statute. And so I think the closer that language in an instruction tracks the actual language in the statute, I think the better we are. I do think, and I am inclined to give such an instruction in part because it's warranted by the law, and in part because there has been some testimony regarding from lay witnesses regarding their impressions about Ms. Stauch's mental status at any particular time. And so I think that the jury should be advised that they can, whether they give way to that or not is up to them, but I think that they should be advised that it is proper to consider that and take that into consideration.
TT Cross, there's nothing
And
special.
then the only other question that I had was you submitted a jury instruction that I didn't know what the source was. It says the question of the defendant's sanity or insanity has reference to her mental condition at the time of the alleged acts, the condition of the defendant's mind previous to the act charged, and since that time may be considered only to aid you in determining her sanity or insanity at the time of the acts charged. It sounds like it's a standard instruction somewhere, but I didn't find it.
And it did these so long ago, it's hard to remember where I got.
Okay.
I got most of them from Colgy, but I also did some from prior cases that I had. So I'll do some research while we have some time and figure out where I came up with.
Okay, that's the only one that I had the question about. So, and let's see. Is there anything else that we need to address prior to Dr. Lewis's testimony at 1 o'clock? Mr. Young?
Besides what we talked about yesterday, that's the only concern I have.
Well, let's talk about that because she's going to be here at 1 o'clock. So what is it that you are requesting?
That the court remind her that she's not to get into the substance of her meeting on Sunday for 3 hours with the defendant and.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mr. Tellini?
She does in the evaluation, did diagnose with a possible traumatic brain injury in reference to earlier hospitalizations in the report that was provided before.
Can you show me where that was?
Yeah.
That's in there. I just remember reading that as well.
I remember reading it. I just can't remember which report, whether it was hers or someone else's. I didn't recall it as I was looking at it in hers. So what page are you looking at, Mr. Tilley? I see the diagnosis of the traumatic brain injury by history, but I didn't see where she mentioned. Yesterday, we were talking about a softball incident, and I didn't see that mentioned.
Because they had Tisha had a meeting with Dr.
Okay.
Dorothy Lewis Sunday. So they're kind of talking about, because supposedly now they're talking about this
Not well, 1
softball
o'clock.
incident where she had a traumatic injury, head injury.
Yeah, no, 1 o'clock, because that's when Dr. Lewis will be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't take her back to CJC.
So they're trying to find out if it was brought in previously into court, or else they're not going to be able to bring it up at all. And so they're saying that there was a mention of a traumatic head injury, but the judge is saying he doesn't remember them saying specifically this, this new incident now.
Yeah,
that
so
we
on
just
the
heard about. Softball incident.
preliminary report,
The preliminary, okay.
yes, on the third page,
Third page.
talk about a second diagnosis could be complex partial seizure. These kinds of seizures are characterized by auras. She was severely injured when a shell fell on her head and knocked her unconscious. Prior to that, she suffered a head injury and was taken to the emergency room, required a CAT scan, and had a discharge of diagnosis.
Okay. Mr. Young?
Nothing about a softball, obviously, injury. It's in her report that may lead to this conclusion that she comes up.
Okay.
And I do recall her talking to Ms. Stauch about the bookcase during her forensic interview that was recorded back in.
Okay. I think she can talk about that. Again, she can't talk about a softball injury other than to say that what she says here, prior to that, she suffered a head injury, was taken to an emergency room, required a CAT scan, and had a discharge diagnosis of brain damage. I think she can talk about that.
Damn,
What?
so they're going to bring it in?
Oh, if she wants to come back, she can.
Oh, she want to come back, Tisha? Tisha had to change her heart? Tisha.
Other than that, is there anything else that we need to take up?
Nothing from the people.
Defense? Okay. All right. We'll see everybody at 1 o'clock then. And I will tell you that even if we finished early today, we're not going to do closings tomorrow. I think it's fair to give everybody some time to get things together.
Closings tomorrow?
So the earliest that I would anticipate closings would be Friday. I just think everybody needs to have some time to put all of their thoughts together. So, all right. Court will be in recess then.
Wow, Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia. So this thing could be, well, I mean, we were kind of figuring, but so because the defense had all these witnesses, all these other people, like at least 12 that I saw. Are they going to be done with just Dr. Dorothy Lewis, or the other witnesses that they're going to call, they're just going to be that short? What do you guys think? What? Let's hang out for a little bit, because they're going to come back at 3. So I'm thinking maybe I should start a new stream for later. I'll set up a stream for later as well. We'll hang out now, but I'll set up a stream for later. So when we come back, it'll just be fresh. And somebody was asking earlier too, they were like, oh, is there a reason Dorothy Lewis, I think she's just not available right now. She's just not there. And it's like a special witness. But I thought they said that she had gotten there over the weekend or something. So I'm not sure why she's not ready now. But yeah, maybe it's just Dr. Dorothy Lewis and that's it. And can Tisha make the argument that she didn't have like what's the terminology? Fair representation. That intro song, I don't want to play it because it could have copyrights, so I don't want to play it during the stream. That intro song was interesting because I ran into that yesterday when I was working out. I like to try to find new music on my own. I don't want a bunch of recommendations sent to me, but that one's like it's in German and Slovak, I think, or some shit. The music video to that is really weird. Let me get the super chats. I'll set up the stream here in a second too for later. We'll talk a little bit too. Could do calls or we could just call it until later. Let me get these super chats. It feels weird that it's like done. What? She can, right? The chat saying yes, she can. Some people saying no. And it's not just me. I had a friend tell me. I mean, they don't have much to work with. Like I can imagine if you're an attorney being handed a case like this, but I would think just ask shit just to ask shit. I guess maybe just to throw something in there, or at least with the biggest part of the thing, it's going to be with these doctors. I was surprised how quick that doctor was. Dorothy Lewis, they said yesterday that they anticipate her being the rest of the day. I don't know, man. It's not looking good for them. Rocky Search, thank you for the super chat. Rocky Search 47 says LS Google search of attorney/client affairs puts the open court cuddling in a whole new light. Ick. Google search attorney/client affairs. My friend was telling me yesterday that she thinks that like they're just trying to keep her chill, and so maybe that's why he's trying to like calm her down and entertain her. But to me, I don't know. I also get like a simp vibe from him and like a weird vibe, a weirdo vibe from him. Something seemed a little bit off to me with the guy, but then I just, after yesterday, I get like just like some type of weird simp type of shit. I don't know, from this guy or a weirdo type of vibe from him. Lawyers fight bill forcing them to report suspicious client acts. I mean, I guess I could see it happening. Well, I'm just here. I gotta represent Tisha. I'll never forget that opening too. Yeah, I'm here. I'm just you know what? Let's just give up. I'm done. I'm just gonna walk out of here. He just starts walking out. I'm like, what the fuck? He almost walked out. We're not even here to deny that she killed Gannon. Oh, no. I am well. Like, Jesus. Nisa Marie, thank you for the 2-month membership. Good morning, Melanchek. Good morning. Desi, thank you for the super chat. Says, the psychologist is this nervous. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why she was so nervous. Because I would think, I don't know if she's testified before. I can understand, like, being in court trial, like, you're probably going to be nervous. But I would think that maybe she's testified before. Maybe it's her first time testifying. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a case. I'm not sure why she was nervous. Papa Zanny, she can't write it to herself, I guess. She's a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, but I'm sure she has access. Somebody could write her the shit. Papa Zanny before you go in there. Trinity, thank you for the super chat. Oh, okay. I was wondering what you meant. Oh, I appreciate that, Trinity. That's really, really nice of you. You first wrote, Mel, you're so flipping away, but then you said I meant awesome. Thank you, Trinity. Really, really nice. Thank you. Lady C, thank you for the super chat. Says judge ain't feeling prosecution today. Bridget Lynn, thank you for the super chat. Miss Dog Lover, thanks for the super chat. Says she's screwing the defense who called her. She's screwing the defense who called her. Yeah, I know. And Shavir, thanks for the super chat. Says this is a documentary. Is this the doctor from the documentary? No. She's coming later at 1. Badass Baker, and we all thought the prosecution rested. Jennifer, thank you so much for the super chat. Tracy 3, thanks for the super chat. Says can't wait to see the prosecution question all dot. Rocky Search 47, thanks for the super chat. Says her testimony needs to come fully equipped with an exorcism. Heaven Stars, thank you for the super chat. Says Letecia is a narcissist as Alex Murdaugh, and he testified. I think she will testify. That's the big thing. I don't know. The pause to me was really, really interesting. Jennifer Fox, thank you for the super chat. Says, I think T will testify because she feels she still needs to control everything, but at the same time, I think her lawyers will try to talk her out of it. Yeah, but Alex too. I think his attorneys try to talk him out of it. I think. Bethany, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, hi Mel, Crime Curious did a video last night about T saying happy birthday yesterday. Yeah, I heard that's what her heart hands during court yesterday. Okay, yeah, I heard that too. She was saying happy birthday or something to Harley. Adri, thank you for the super chat. Says, can we discuss the article I emailed you? Oh, let me take a look because let me get Buddha first. She sent me something. Let's see. Oh Jesus, I don't even know if I can play that. Woman has loud and full body orgasm during LA Philharmonic concert. Several concertgoers described a woman's climatic moment Friday at the balcony. What? Everyone kind of turned to see what was happening. I saw a girl after it happened and assumed that she had an arm because she was heavily breathing. And a partner was smiling and looking at her, like in an effort not to shame her. It was quite beautiful. What? An audio clip reporting to capture the woman's moment has gone viral. I don't want to play it here, but I'll take a look at it after. However, some social media users expressed their doubts about the incident, with one who was present suggesting the woman had a medical emergency. It absolutely happened, writing, he ran all the possible scenarios. I don't know. I guess I'll take a look at it and see. Let me see the email article too from I know, right? Like, what the hell is going on? Airdrie, you sent me something, I guess, to the other email. Let's see. Man, we're coming to the end of the trial. It kind of feels, I don't know. This week it's going to be over. I mean, I guess I'll have time to do some things and catch up on life to the next trial. You know, 2 people sent me the article that you sent me. Airdrie and then Kelly sent me the same article, an email. Let's take a look at this article. We'll take a look at it together, related to the story. Dorothy Lewis. Dorothy. Let's hang out for a little bit, man. It's over. And then Vic Queen, thank you so much. Says, appreciate you, Kimel. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here with me. How long is this break? This break is until they're taking a long break until it's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern. Let me just make the new stream right now so you guys can, if you need to go there later. Let me do that real quick. Dorothy, you let me down. You didn't testify. Dorothy. Everybody, according to her, everybody got a mental illness. You get a pass for killing somebody. Not really. Well, she's kind of, well. So this other thing starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. Honestly, I think we should start 3 p.m. Eastern. We should probably, I don't know. Let's do like 2:50 in case, because they start so quick. Do 250 just to be safe. Okay, let's take a look at this article. Not that. And they're talking about the documentary. So this is a good read, I guess, because it's going to be related to what's coming later as far as this lady, Dorothy Lewis. TX Trina BR, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, hi, Ike and Mel in chat. I'm always late, but getting caught up. The prosecution needs a standing ovation. Thank you for all you do, Mel. You're amazing. Hashtag you're amazing. Thank you. The picture in the background, I don't know. It looks, it changed now. It looked pretty dope. I don't know what that was. Thanks. Appreciate that. The disappointing false dichotomies behind crazy, not insane. The HBO documentary promotes public misunderstanding of criminality and DID. Dissociative what? Identity disorder, right? Something like that. HBO recently released a documentary, Crazy Not Insane, featuring longtime forensic psychiatrist Dorothy Lewis and her theories of the origins of criminal behavior. This issue is a deep and fascinating topic for most people because it gets to the core of what constitutes good and evil and whether people are always culpable for their behavior, especially when it is grievously harmful, such as murder and are. The fascination with these core questions about human nature and behavior is also probably why there is a huge cottage industry for crime-related entertainment. Forensic psychiatry is a subspecialty in the field, often focusing on criminology and the application of scientific and clinical expertise to legal context. The competency to stand trial is one issue that forensic psychiatrists often evaluate as part of the prior legal precedents in the United States that affect punishment depending on the ability to distinguish between right and wrong when committing a criminal act. These professionals often weigh in on the famous not guilty by reason of insanity, which is what homegirl Letecia Stauch, she's doing. Sip of water. Okay. Not guilty by reason of insanity. Defense for criminal offenders. It remains a centuries-long philosophical and scientific debate over nature versus nurture when regarding people's culpability for their behaviors and whether people deserve to be labeled as evil or criminal. And nature versus nurture, I've heard that reference many times. I think that, I don't really remember. Nature versus nurture, I thought means like the environment you grow up in, I think. The expression nature versus nurture describes a question of how much a person's characteristics are formed by either nature or nurture. Nurture means the innate biological factors, namely genetics, while nurture can refer to upbringing or life experience more generally. Okay. So like the biological factors, I guess genetics, like you're born with it. Can you be born evil? All that stuff. And maybe it's a mix of both. I don't know. Where we leave off at. Okay. So the debate over nature versus nurture when regarding people's culpability for their behaviors and whether people deserve to be labeled as evil or criminal when they kill or harm others, or whether there is more complexity to what leads to crimes. Psychiatrists still struggle amongst themselves to quantify and understand biological determinism versus situational influences when diagnosing and treating their patients. Sometimes this debate causes artificial dichotomies within the field's practitioners who tend to align their views one way or another, or various skewed reasons, including oversimplification, ease of research, self-promotion, financial incentives, and more. Sadly, to me, Dr. Lewis, despite her supposed years of expertise and prestigious affiliations, does not demonstrate a deep awareness of complexity of psychiatric nosology. Nosology. Never heard of that before. Nosology. They misspelled that? Psychology? Nosology. What's that? Nosology in psychology, a branch of medical science dealing with the classification of diseases. Oh, okay. Never heard of that shit before. Or forensic diagnosis in this film. The movie tries to paint her as some sort of misunderstood pioneer who is ahead of her peers in understanding criminality. But this portrayal is questionable. Sound like you a hater, like you jealous and shit. The documentary focused on Dr. Lewis' background and her own psychological theories of criminal behavior stemming from her past clinical experience. Her main premise is that most murderers including serial killers, suffer from childhood trauma, abuse, and neglect, which in turn causes many of them to develop the controversial diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder, or DID. And this is what they're trying to say that Tisha got. I guess they're trying to say Tisha got DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. She views the murderous and violent parts of these people as a split identity they possess as sort of a defense mechanism, and questions their true culpability and their crimes as a result. While she agrees most serial killers are a danger to society and must be locked away to protect people from their uncontrollable impulses, she strongly feels the death penalty is cruel and unjust for their behavior, even likening it to burning innocent. Misunderstood people accused of witchcraft at the stake. That's what they used to do back in the day. They used to burn these people they thought had magic and whatever. The thing, it's kind of like, I don't know, there's some really egregious acts when you're like, I don't know, I guess in my head, I'm like, yeah, they should be, I'm not going to shed a tear if they're put to death. But I don't know if somebody's clinically, like, for real, maybe it depends on the kind of murder and egregious act. I don't know. Because I remember when I watched the documentary, there's this one guy, it was a black guy, and it was so interesting. I need to rewatch the documentary, but this guy, you could see that this guy had multiple personalities. Like, you could literally see this guy kind of like switching between type of shit. But it was like, I don't know if you could say organic. Like, you could just tell like, it wasn't like a fake, like the Tisha's bullshit. And you can tell there was like one persona or personality that's there to protect this guy because he was abused as a child. And you see Dorothy Lewis interviewing this guy, and so, or whatever, evaluating him. And so he, I think, was on death row or something, and she got him off death row. He still got like life or something like that. But when I saw that case, and I don't remember what he did, I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe the death penalty would be messed up. I don't know, I'm like conflicted. You know, but you could clearly see there's some, you know, Tisha's like, to me, in my opinion, faking it compared to when you see some of these people like literally going between personalities. Anyway, the film features several clips of interviews illustrating her point of view, but to my own professional eye, these clips often sow more doubt than support of her claims. She discusses one murderer who had visible abnormalities on potentially key brain regions of neuroimaging. There is a compelling argument for considering the contributions of pre-existing neurobiology to criminal behavior, with a significant body of research to date indicating genetic trends in antisocial behavior and differences in neuroimaging and serotonin modulation in studies of criminals. So you can see this stuff literally, like, I guess, in their brain, indicating, genetic trends in antisocial behavior and differences in neuroimaging, the imaging of the brain, I guess, and serotonin modulation in studies of criminals. But she doesn't seem to incorporate those crucial biological findings much and focuses more on their clinical interview, where she seems adamant that he's exhibiting different personalities at different moments. During another interview with a man who stabbed his partner, she seems oddly naive, almost trying to become buddies with the rather dramatic patient who seems extremely suggestible to her whims, that he may be exhibiting different personalities. She notes another patient on death row who committed a crime while a teenager is psychotic and hallucinating before her eyes and shifting between personalities. I think this is the one that they're talking about. When to me, he just seems cognitively slowed and willing to tell her what she wants to hear, and did not appear to be actively hallucinating. She and a neurologist colleague she partners with seem all too eager to dismiss realistic possibilities like secondary gain through an insanity defense, or frequently manipulative and lying nature of people with several antisocial personality traits. Overall, she did come across as ready to shoehorn all these people into her core theory of did. Even Ted Bundy, her star interview in the movie's climax. So that guy, the black guy, I think they're referencing the black guy in this last portion here. I'm not an expert. That guy seemed legit to me. But part of the problem is, and kind of like what this lady's saying here, and what I joked about when I first started this live stream, I was like, you all get did. Because it seems like she just hands that shit out like candy, even though it's a rare thing. And the other thing too, the prosecution, the doctors that they had, from what I remember, I don't think they've ever even treated anybody, I think, that has did the ID. You know? Her and I think she got Bundy's thing wrong. Her explanation of Bundy, well known to be one of the most prolific and cunning serial killers of all time, as someone who suffered from child abuse and did, seems strained when she argues that, let me fix my mic. When she argues that different signatures in letters to his wife and the use of different nicknames indicate various split personalities. You can see why the defense called on this lady for Tisha. At other times, her theories seem contradictory and incoherent. She discusses neurobiological contributions to these criminal behaviors, which would seem to argue that their behavior is ingrained to some extent and perhaps not totally their fault in that sense. But then in turn argues that criminals are not born but made. She did argue that. She mentions a chill. The whole thing to now I'm flashing back to this documentary. This documentary, when they start this shit out, it literally starts out with, we could all be Nazis. There's Nazi in all of us, or something like that. I'm like, yo, lady, slow down. Kanye, like, chill out, slow down, right? I don't know what was going on. I didn't realize that was on my face. Just saying that we could all be Hitler. Let me get the super chats real quick. Lily Rose, thank you for the super chat. Says, what's the deal with Dr. Lewis? What's her history? Or I guess we're doing that now. TT Cross, and you should check out the documentary. TT Cross, thank you for the super chat. Says, can you set up for us in chat to watch together somewhere in Discord while you do your thing? Pretty please. I did that. We did that the other night, actually. We did a members thing on Discord and we watched it. It was like 20 of us. We watched it together. I mean, I might rewatch it again sometime. Or one of the, I think one of the mods might be able to do it. We could have all been Hitler. Yeah, that's what she was saying. I don't know about that. You think you're reaching with that. I almost feel like she's trying to say like everybody has a potential to kill, but like to say like everybody could be Hitler. I'm like, yo, you tripping. Roro Anna, thank you for the memberships. Chives, 18-month membership, man. Thank you so much for riding out with me. What up, Mel? Hope all is well. I missed the last couple of days, so I need to catch up. Glad they finally found Justin's body. I know. There's some crazy shit with that too. Lee Vasquez, thank you for the super chat. Says you have done a great job. I know it's not easy to sit there all day with us. Thank you. 20, no man, you're good. 20 is not much, but is with love. No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. And you guys make it easy, so thank you. SW4x4 Explorers, do you think Dr. Lewis coached her during those 3 hours for taking a stand? Possible. We actually joked about that. I think I even joked about it. She's giving her tips and shit. I don't know. We don't know what happened in that 3-hour conversation. Love the Sonic emoji. Thank you, Mel, for enduring all this. No, thank you guys. And yeah, Diggs made that emoji. So we have someone in the gallery. She's asking if you want to call in. If you want her to call in, can she? What's the best way of communication for her? Can she? I don't know. Okay, tell that person to email me. Oh, Amy's there? Oh, Amy. Okay, Amy sent me her number already. Hold on. Okay, so let me finish this article and then I'm going to get Amy. I mean, how much we got? Well, we got a lot left. I don't know how much time Amy has. This is like one of those super long novel articles, but it's pretty interesting. Let's call Amy. Let's call Amy for a little bit. Let's call Amy. So, let's see. I don't know if I should call from the computer or if you guys will hear it fine when I call from my phone. Ineffective console, yeah. Do you guys, I'll just call her. Let's see.
Hello.
Amy,
Hi.
it's Mel. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
You're on
Hi.
live, by the way.
Okay. That's glad.
You were in the
Thanks for
gallery
the
today?
warning. Yes. And I'm outside waiting. I have a perfect parking spot. I'm not going to lose it to go back in at 1. So I thought I would just give everybody who hasn't had the opportunity to come to the courtroom my initial feelings of walking in. It's very tiny.
Is it hot too?
It's not hot today, and I
Okay.
dressed appropriately for Colorado, which is the courtroom. Layers.
Did you wear red?
You layer.
Did you wear red?
I wore red and black.
Oh shit! Okay. No, you
And,
did it.
I will tell you all something later this evening. I have talked to a few people, but I do not want to say who because people will know it's me.
Okay.
And so I have more scoop for you later this afternoon, some really good stuff.
Interesting.
The attorney is as geeky as we think.
Wait, he's at what, geeky?
Geeky. The
Oh,
guy
yeah?
that she's flirting with.
Do you think she's got to be flirting, right? She has a twirling them around her finger.
Yes. And I wonder if Dr. Lewis has told him to do that because she's all about the attention, right?
Right.
But if I were his wife or anybody in public, I don't know if I sell my soul like that, but oh well.
Does he have a wife? They kept saying he has a wife or something.
I don't know if he has a wife, but even, if he's doing it for the case,
Right.
I don't know that I would sell my soul. But he is as awkward as on camera, if not more. The other guy is just as red in person as on camera.
Oh yeah. So they really are red like that. It's not like a visual, or color.
Mm-mm. He's red.
And
Even his scalp is red.
And they're wow. And they're both just as red, or is one more redder than the other?
No, red is red. The attorney, I'm getting them confused. Cook is the geeky one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other one, but he's as red as he is on camera.
Damn.
It's very tiny room. Very tiny.
Did you have to wait in line to get in? You have to wait a long time?
No. Just went right on in. It might look packed on TV, but they have still the COVID sitting, like every other space is empty.
Oh, they're still doing COVID center over there?
A little bit of protocol.
Oh, yeah. You guys in Colorado, that's what you guys do? You guys still follow COVID protocols and stuff?
Well, nobody has mask on, but
Right.
I think they're cautious because she came in very sick last week and you don't know. And we are a hot spot from time to time because we have an international airport. So people are still cautious, just not extreme.
Oh, it's like a time capsule. Oh, okay.
No.
I'm in Florida, so you know us. We're loose with it and shit. So
You didn't go for it. Hey, herd immunity. Over here, everybody's inside. On top of each other. So when you're in an elevator and there's like 8 people, you're kind of facing the other way.
Right.
So it's just a whole different climate. So I will say, I asked Mo if they showed her being handcuffed. Letecia asked to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
Did y'all see that?
They blocked the camera. I mean, she got up, and then when they went to cuff her, they blocked the camera so we wouldn't see.
Okay. They put her cuffs behind her back. So the bailiff's in the back, in the middle, a woman bailiff. And then there's an undercover guy in about the middle of the room, dark blue shirt, black pants. He's he's the undercover guy that's close enough to her to get her if something happens.
Really? Was he wearing?
Yeah. Dark blue or like a navy blue shirt and black
Oh.
pants.
You wouldn't see.
I don't know if y'all can see him on.
I'm gonna
screen
try to
or
take
not.
it back. Oh. Wait. So he's wearing a dark blue shirt? He's bald?
Now I can't remember because I was just
Oh.
looking at what he was wearing.
And what was he wearing again?
Black pants
Uh-huh.
and a dark blue shirt, like
think it
a
must be
long
this guy.
sleeve.
Yeah, I think I see the guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, he's
Now, the
undercover.
bailiff, he's like, yeah, he's just dressed in street clothes,
Oh.
but he's sitting up. He's kind of in the middle of the row, the aisles. He's in a chair in the middle of the pews. I
Yeah.
call them pews.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's sitting in a chair close enough to get to her.
Oh.
But the bailiff, I guess her bailiff or whatever, the female bailiff is sitting in the middle of the room, all the way in the back, in her police uniform.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, she's the one who came up and handcuffed her.
Right,
Her
right.
hair is as nasty as we all think.
Tisha, really? So you saw it up close?
That close. Yeah.
I don't know why she does that. Is that part of the act? Or she just always had her hair like that?
I don't know. And you can ask other people from Colorado, but it's so dry. I'm from Louisiana where it's hot as soon as you walk outside, just like Florida.
Yeah.
So greasy hair is a thing.
Right.
And
Hot,
Colorado is so dry. We're a desert up in the sky.
Mm.
I don't understand how she gets grease in her hair, but she does.
Yeah.
It's the mess. She's unkempt, I guess. Let's see, I wrote other notes. Like I said, the interesting stuff I can tell you later. I don't want to give away.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I'm curious. And did you see any of the jury's reactions and stuff, or anything notable, or?
Nothing. It was where I was sitting was hard to see them. So far it's just like nothing. Like it's just another day in the,
Okay.
I think it's going to be interesting at 1:00. Mostly is she going to testify, which I'm sure you guys heard. Well, I'm guessing the judge asked her if she was going to testify, and her lawyer said she wants to wait till after Dr. Lewis to decide.
Right.
And there are people there that you all know that they're there specifically to see if she testifies, and said they don't know. And they worked with her. That's all I'm gonna
Wow. So that's interesting. It feels like it's up in the air. Like it's a possibility.
say. Yeah. And they said they don't even think the lawyers know if she's going to do it or not.
Wow.
So there is nothing in the courtroom that anybody's saying that they're not broadcasting. I think I'll just I drew a diagram also because I never could figure out what that courtroom exactly was like. So I sort of drew a diagram. I'll let somebody improve it for everyone to understand where the judge is sitting, where the witness sits, where, the gallery is the jury, where the doors are. So, and yeah. And I think, am I remembering correctly, the first witness wore red?
Yeah. Well, today, right? Yes.
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 And I heard her in the hallway saying, at least they got my name right.
Ooh, did she really? Because the defense has been getting the name wrong. Or she's just talking about in general.
I think both sides have been butchering everybody's name.
Oh, okay.
So I spoke. I don't know if you have any questions.
No, that's it. I mean, I'm curious to know the other stuff you're talking about, but let's wait for later, I guess.
Yes. Because I don't want to walk in and them say, okay, you have to leave now.
Right.
We know it's you.
People are asking who's on the phone. This is Amy. She's been supporting the channel, and she's there in person today. She's in the gallery sitting in the trial. So
I'm the one who did the tour of Garden of the Gods.
yes, I gotta put that video together. I think I can post it today. I should be able to put that together so they can see. I think I showed them something
yesterday morning. Yes.
Yeah. Why don't I put it together?
It was just a quick thing of pictures of Garden of the Gods, Gannon's neighborhood, and where the board was found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. And I'll definitely hit you up later. And it's just, or maybe even after the trial, maybe, so we can talk if you want to say anything on live and stuff. Especially with this doctor, for sure. Maybe some of the jury reactions.
I don't think I'm going to come out at 3. I think I'm going to stay up there at 3, the 3 o'clock break. So it would be after court is over at 5.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Don't know if this was aired, but they said they were going to close on Friday.
Oh, is that what they said?
Yeah. So I don't know if that was on your stream or not, if that was aired. I can't see where the cameras are.
I thought he said that
even if they finish early, they're not going to close until Friday.
Okay. They're not going to close until Friday. Yeah. The closing arguments. Okay. I thought you meant court's going to be closed. But they're saying even if they finish early, they're going to leave it for Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
He wants everybody to have everything settled and ready, and closing will be Friday. And that's when it'll be like no one will get in that courtroom except family and reporters, and you won't be able to leave or come or go during the arguments or whatever. So, so the last day would be Wednesday, but if they finish short.
And how did you get over there? Do you live in that area, or are you still in Louisiana? Oh, okay.
I live, I don't want to say where I live.
Yeah, don't,
I live
please.
close enough to be here.
Please don't.
And I probably will be coming back tomorrow because I don't think they're going to get through Dorothy today.
I don't think so either.
And if Letecia takes the stand, these would be
if Letecia takes
today and tomorrow are going to be the days to be here. And I was shocked that I was able to get in. So
amazing.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Amy.
I'm missing being with the chat, but I can't turn the phone on, so I'll catch it tonight.
All right. Save my number. I'm going to save yours. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, that was interesting. Somebody in the chat was asking about the significance of red and black. Tisha had stated that supposedly that was one of her triggers, red and black. It triggers Maria, I believe. And so I think I saw Al wearing red and black at some point. I think Landon wore red and black. I don't know if this psychologist did that intentionally as well, because it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. That's her trigger. So people are wearing red and black in the court. Let's see her get triggered. Let's see Maria come out, All right, so let's get on with this article, which is pretty interesting. And they were talking about Bundy. I'll start this paragraph again. Her explanation of Bundy, well known to be one of the most prolific and cunning serial killers of all time, as someone who suffered from child abuse and DID, seems strained when she argues that his different signatures in his letters to his wife and use of different nicknames indicate various split personalities. And I think that's what the prosecution the entire time was talking about, like these supposed alter egos that Letecia was claiming, these multiple names. And this is probably why the defense is using this lady in hopes of getting her to say that she's insane or DID or whatever. At other times, her theories seem contradictory and incoherent. She discusses neurobiological contributions to these criminals' behavior, which would seem to argue that their behavior is ingrained to some extent and perhaps not totally their fault in that sense, but then in turn argues that criminals are not born but made. She mentions a chilling anecdote where Bundy apparently threatened a relative with a set of kitchen knives at the age of 3, an age where one might argue he could have not learned that behavior from anyone. She insists Bundy's grandfather was abusive, but various family members contradict that story. While there's no doubt to me that childhood abuse and trauma can contribute to criminal behavior, with the learning of maladaptive violence and anger, it cannot be the sole cause either, given that so many victims of abuse and trauma also never become serial killers or even necessarily mean or aggressive people. Also, such trauma and its links to DID are also rare and unique. It isn't a given that everyone with trauma develops anything as extreme as DID, which itself remains a hotly debated diagnosis, although most psychiatrists agree that dissociative behavior, not necessarily discrete personalities, can be a common defense mechanism and form of avoidance against traumatic memories. It is certainly a leap to say that DID is linked to most serial killers and murderers. Interesting. If anything, their high frequency of antisocial personality traits posits. I don't know how to say that. Posits, I think. Posits. Cancel.
Posit.
Okay. Posit, they would be more likely to feign such personalities either for actual gain or for its own sake. For someone who has interviewed and worked with so many criminals, Dr. Lewis seems curiously naive about the frequency and broadness of these severe manipulative behaviors, which I and most psychiatrists have encountered very routinely in these populations. And I think too, that's why, I don't know if it was the prosecution, one of the doctors that they had on, and he was saying that like they have to, I guess, look for more of this type of thing where people are feigning illnesses because of what they're hoping to gain out of it, which is like insanity, or avoid certain charges. She also seems unaware of high comorbidities of unstable personality structure in criminals, leading to histrionic and borderline traits as well, which can be mistaken for supposed did. These other personality types have traits of unstable self-image and self-esteem, which are indeed tied often to trauma and insecure attachment as a child, as children, and can lead to mood swings and identity disturbance. And that's why they were talking about that as well, the different types of attachments. Secure, unsecure, forgot the other ones. But they do not necessarily lead to frank DID. These individuals also tend to be highly suggestible to outside influences and feeding symptoms in order to gain various forms of attention, both consciously and unconsciously. Unfortunately, with this very public platform, Dr. Lewis will spread her oversimplified message of origins of severely criminal behavior as all tragic, misunderstood victims of DID. While I completely agree with her thoughts that a person's upbringing contributes to their psychological makeup, she splits this factor off into a falsely simplistic relationship between upbringing and behavior. That serial killers all have a particularly horrible upbringing and then inevitably become people with DID. She briefly mentions, but doesn't coherently integrate, the possibility of concomitant genetic or neurobiological factors, which also argue against pure culpability of these killers for their actions. Concomitant. What it makes me think of like Dahmer. I don't remember if Dahmer had like a really bad upbringing or not. I remember watching the documentary. I mean, the stuff in his childhood, I don't know if he had abuse. Did Dahmer have any abuse? I remember that he was like killing animals and stuff and collecting animals. And then I know his parents were always fighting and arguing. And he was left for a long period of time at home alone. And it's interesting because, well, he said he had all these like dark thoughts, I think, of killing, and I think he was also like sexually repressed or afraid because of his orientation. But then his father had said that he had some of those same thoughts when he was a kid. Let's see. She doesn't help assert or clarify that there is a spectrum to the contributions of both biology and environment in these individuals, as well as the types of behavior they engage in. Her core message of compassion for the complexity leading to these killers' behavior and the moral questionability of the death penalty is a reasonable one. Her method of gaining attention for this message may lead to more misunderstanding and confusion about the origins of the criminality. She has devoted her career to studying. Jean Kim is a psychiatrist and a writer working in the Washington, D.C. That was an interesting article. She writes really well, too, actually. Pretty easy to read. That's from 2020. Dorothy Lewis. Let's see something. Crazy, not insane. I don't know. Yeah, interesting. Let's see. Danielle, thank you for the super chat. Says I'm behind watching replay. Her attorney looks like a lost dog with her gun. I agree. Anyway, I guess that's it for now. I guess we get a little break for now, but I will be back at 2:50 p.m. Eastern. I guess I'm gonna chill, maybe go get something to eat, have a little extra time. Feels weird. But yeah, I set up the new stream for later. And so take a little break, rest up. And I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So just chill, relax, or maybe go watch something. I don't know. I'm gonna go eat. Maybe I'll clean up, and I'm gonna be refreshed for when we come back because I'm so curious to see what Dorothy Lewis is gonna say. Let's see you guys in the chat. I'll give it a couple minutes and then I'll go. Shenanigans says his mother had mental. Oh, you're right about that. Yeah. His mother had mental issues, and his mother abandoned him. That was really messed up. Yeah. And he was kind of just left to his own devices. His mom was on drugs and mental issues. Eva Luna Loca says, I've been watching the Dr. Lewis documentary, and while she's a quack, she's not credible at all, and we'll show it today. I'm so curious to see. What's going to happen with her and if teacher's going to testify. All right. So yeah, I'm going to head out. I'm going to get something to eat, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right. Love you guys. See you in a bit. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm going to move you over to the stream for 2:50 p.m. Eastern. All right. Bye.